Hi, welcome to WAVA Masterclass 2020. I'm Kevin Naudi. No? Too much? Okay. Start again. Hi, welcome to WAVA Masterclass 2020. I'm Kevin Naudi, Creative Director of WAVA. We are visual artists, and that is exactly what I will be speaking about to all you aspiring creatives, aspiring marketeers, aspiring advertisers, bloggers, social, whichever area you are in. We are going to try and guide you as best as possible into understanding better the art of creative and delivering what, after all, is the most important thing, the client's objectives. The art of creative is getting people to interact, to ask questions and to remember what you've done, be it positive. The thing about interacting is positive, negative. There's no, as the saying goes, there's no such thing as bad publicity. Obviously, it's always to a certain extent. I mean, we've produced many campaigns over the years, many of which, obviously our best ones, we will feature during this episode. But it's not only the successful campaigns that I will be speaking about, it's also the failures. When I say failures, it's because sometimes the market doesn't react and doesn't react well to a certain concept, to a certain visuals, to certain copywriting, content. Now I believe failure means only one thing, and that is growth. Because anyone who hasn't failed, in my eyes, it means they haven't tried. They haven't tried hard in the sense they haven't tried to bend the rules a bit, try to be edgy, try to think outside the box, So yes, we have, and we keep on trying to perfect what we do. We'll never be perfect. It's very hard to be perfect. And what is perfect after all? More importantly, what I want to guide you guys here today in the masterclass is to understand that creative and a big campaign doesn't have to be loud, doesn't have to be flashy, doesn't have to be all over the place. Why? Because it can be all those things, but then not hit exactly what the client was after. That's why my motto is listen, understand, brainstorm, and then bring forward. So yes, creative, be inspired by things around you, be inspired by things happening. I mean, there's so many things to be inspired by. It could be a movie, it could be a song, it could be a music video, it could be anything. It could be something around you, it could be something from your personal life. Be inspired, make it your own. That is how I go about creative from our side of things. The thing about not being too loud and what, as I mentioned, is because a creative message doesn't necessarily need to be loud to be understood. It is where I strongly believe in the saying, simplicity works best. But that can only happen when there's a true core of creative, a concept created that has followed suit of what the client has spoken about, what the client's objectives are, what he wishes to achieve, and basically the budget in question. This is an important part. I'll explain. Many clients, unfortunately, have this perception that a big creative campaign needs to break the bank. It's not the case. So relax, listen to us, and I'll explain. When people say it broke the bank, it's because they were a bit irresponsible on their approach, which is not the way to go about. A creative campaign needs to be built around the budget given. Whilst, unfortunately, I've been told many times, like, how much will it cost? I go, no. Tell me what the budget is, and I will try and give the best creative possible that I can with that budget. Not necessarily breaking the bank. I mean, some clients have their limits. Every brand, service, provider, enterprise, whatever it is, have their each limitations. Everyone has their limitations. Some have less, some have a lot of limitations. We try, and we have managed to work on all fronts. We've worked with the big budget, who still didn't necessarily need to break the bank. And we've worked with the small enterprises, and I managed to give just as much volume and value for the campaign produced. Of course, if you give us hundreds of thousands of euros, it's going to help. Why? Not because of the creative. It won't help the creative question. It will help the production side of things, because they're two separate things, although they end up together. You've got the creative, which is the core concept, which is where it comes from, which is the brainstorming, which is the storyboard, the mood board, and what have you. Then if you've got such an unlimited budget, then you can go stronger. You can get more human element. You can go a bit wild on cameras, you can go wild on production set. I mean, so many things, but it's more on production is where then the budget comes in handy. But you can still make it work with a lot less of the budget. One of the biggest, actually, brands, I guess you could say, we have worked for and produced something, is for Burger King Malta. And we approached them with an idea to do something completely different, something they haven't done locally, tried. Burger King worldwide are very, very, very renowned for their twisted marketing. We approached Burger King Malta to do something to really get noticed. Why? Because obviously their main competition, they have a main competitor locally and worldwide. And to up their position in terms of brand presence, we came with the idea to do something completely different. And in the advertising world, nothing works more and works better than guerrilla marketing. Guerrilla marketing is something that gives you results, gives you impact, gives you attention, creates talk, and more than anything, we've experienced firsthand, is remembered. And I think that is one of the most successful case studies you can talk about, is when something is remembered very, very vividly in people's minds. We created the drive-through guerrilla stunt for Burger King Malta. Basically, it's, as I said, initially, creative is in the simplicity of thought. And we came up with the idea of setting up a drive-through, a mock-up drive-through, outside their main competitors, outlet. It's something that they do overseas as well. Not the drive-through idea, but they poke fun at their main competitor. As I said, in a fun and cheeky manner, not taking away any business or what have you. The idea was literally to produce an actual Burger King drive-through, sign, lit, produced well. Thankfully, the budget helped us doing what I proposed to the client. We handed Burger King, takeaway bags. Inside there was no food, although, as I said, there's no such thing as bad publicity. People might have thought that there was food and people commented, but they were commenting nonetheless. No food was given out on the day. It was vouchers and merchandise. Through the Love Monument, we had two excellent promoter girls who acted as Burger King staff, and it created, the stats and the numbers spoke for themselves. Over 100,000, I don't know how much, views, comments, interaction. And I'd say that was probably one of our, it's a good way to start the masterclass. And hopefully it will keep you, paying attention and will help you tune in for the next masterclass. With various guerrilla marketing campaigns under our belt, in fact, we have set the standards, I believe, locally in the guerrilla marketing scene because we've delivered great results for leading brands in the process. So basically, welcome to WAVA Masterclass 2020.